10, 9.
We didn't have televisions in our room back then. There was just one TV in the lobby, and people were gathering around it.
3.
It was so thrilling.
1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You know, it's difficult to put into words how big of an adventure it's been for the space industry. And to think that the products that Honeywell has provided were instrumental in allowing us to get there is a huge source of pride.
For this aircraft, they were going into outer space, so the autopilot that Jim Bailey was designing had to be very cutting edge at its time.
Meeting Neil and getting to know him personally, it was a wonderful experience. He was in a Navy fighter squadron during the war, and I was in a Marine fighter squadron. A lot of the things that we talked about, we compared, and it was very similar experiences. That was probably a major factor in our friendship, was I knew what he had done and I respected him, and he knew what I had done and he respected me. So we got along very well, and I consider him one of my best friends. We performed on a lot of good projects successfully.
Dad and Neil had worked together for 6 years before they even thought about, the moon thing. We gathered around the TV and, we wondered where Dad was, and I think someone may have run to get him, and he said no, he was not gonna watch it.
I remember being so concerned that I didn't want to be too close to what was going on. That if anything bad happened, I don't think I could have stood it. I knew Neil so well that everything he did that was a high risk, I felt part of that risk.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're pretty busy.
When he was successful,
Armstrong is on the moon.
I just collapsed.
30-year-old American standing on the surface of the moon.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I worked for 30 years for Honeywell, and I worked with some people that are really just giants of knowledge. Honeywell has a number of those. Every flight you made was a carefully planned affair, detailed on every maneuver you were going to do, and a discussion was held on what to expect. You tried to not have any surprises. We did our very best.
One of the things that is a consistent theme throughout our workforce is that folks do feel personally responsible for the product we put into space. It's iconic when you think about, that we had a test pilot, Jim Bailey, all the way to the products that got the astronauts there safely. I don't know anywhere else that you could see that broad range of engagement that was instrumental in making a mission so successful. Honeywell products span almost every technology you can think of on the space station. So this next generation of products is going to be not only evolutionary, but revolutionary in what we have to do, because we're going deeper into space. We have to ensure safe missions and safe returns.
I think that I've had a little piece of something. I didn't manage the whole program or anything, but I supplied a quarter piece to fit into it. I was proud to work at Honeywell.